Hi, Tam here. My name is Tam and I'm a doctor. I've worked on cruise ships and on yachts. A question I get asked all the time is, what is the salary of nurses on cruise ships? So let's talk about it. A lot of my friends are nurses and they tell me exactly how much they're making. The remuneration for nurses can vary quite greatly depending on the cruise line for which you're working. You can have a difference of up to 300% between two nurses working on two different cruise lines. I've seen that myself. A nurse can work for a particular cruise line and make $4,000 a month, paid only when on board, meaning when you're not on the ship, when you go back home, your salary is cut off. You're not getting any money for the 2 months or 3 months that you're at home. And then when you come back on board, you start getting paid again. So that's something to take into account, because over the course of a year, if you're going to work for 4 months on board and then 2 months off, then it means you're going to work for 8 months a year. So you're going to get paid $4,000 a month for 8 months only. Most cruise lines are paying their nurses between $4,000 and $5,000 a month. That's the majority of cruise lines. But some cruise lines are paying their nurses much more than that. I have a nurse friend of mine who's getting paid $12,000 a month on a certain cruise line. Why? Because she's getting a commission-based salary. At first I thought, no, there's no way, until she actually showed me her salary. And I saw that she was getting, on some month, $12,000, on other month, $13,000 a month. Her bad month was about $10,500 for the month. Okay, so that's the reality of maritime medicine. Huge variations between cruise lines. Now, most nurses are regular nurses with one lead nurse in charge of the other nurses. The difference in salary between the regular nurse and the lead nurse is minimal. With most cruise lines, you find that the lead nurse gets an additional 5 to 8% more than the regular nurse. So if your salary is $4,500 a month, as a lead nurse, you'll be getting around maybe $4,800 a month. Still, it's far below a regular nurse on another cruise line who's making $12,000 a month. So yeah, basically that's what's going on. Now on mega yachts, it completely depends on the owner, because a mega yacht typically is owned by a private owner, a billionaire, and he will pay you, or she will pay you, whatever they feel fit to pay you. So it depends on it's really up to them and the relationship you have with them. You might have a certain salary at the beginning and then a dramatic increase in salary as your relationship with the owner strengthens. Familiarity comes in, they know you, they trust you, and your salary is going to go higher and higher. And on top of that, on a private mega yacht, the owner usually will give you a bonus. So bonuses, gifts. A nurse friend of mine was working on a mega yacht for a billionaire family from the Middle East. And one of the gifts, the one time, was a car, a Mercedes C-Class. That's the kind of gift, if you're a nurse, you could just say thank you very much and retire. Pursue something else or take a break for the year, on mega yachts, there's huge variations. But what you have to remember on mega yachts is that typically nurses get paid on and off. So if they work 3 months on board and 3 months off, for the 3 months they're off, they get their full salary. Yes, you're working hard when you're on board, but when you're off the ship, for the 3 months you're at home, you keep getting your salary. So now it becomes very interesting for some nurses who decide to go home and work. Go back to work in their hospital, maybe as low-coming nurses, and they get their salary monthly for 3 months. And on top of that, the yacht salary keeps on coming as well. So now it becomes quite a substantial amount of money. Typically on mega yachts, it's between $4,000 and $5,000 a month for nurses. But depending on the owner, it could be much, much more than that. Some nurses on some mega yachts are making $10,000 a month. Yes. I hope this helps. Cheers. I've made a course. It's a masterclass for doctors on getting a job on a cruise ship. This is the question I get every week, several times a week, for years now. How do I get a job on a cruise ship as a doctor? So this masterclass is 1 hour and 45 minutes. And I'll give you all the information you need for you to get a job on a cruise ship. The layout is the same as when I do online consultations, one-on-one with doctors. So I have kept the same layout. I'm talking about the same points. If you're interested in getting a job on a cruise ship, please buy this course. The course also comes with PDFs for you to download and keep, and the videos are divided into multiple parts. You can download all these parts and keep them with you. You don't have to come back online to rewatch it. Once you buy it, it belongs to you. Just a reminder, my content is copyrighted, so it's not to be shared publicly on public domains, on public forums, and it's not to be resold. Now, the content of the course, the first part, module 1, is all about the requirements. What are the requirements you need to have in your resume to get a job on a cruise ship? Module 2 is some information on getting above the requirements. What else can you add that is beyond the requirements for you to secure a job interview, to make your resume pop, basically, and to jumpstart the queue of candidates? Module 3 is about the ATS system, how to beat the ATS. When I say how to beat the ATS, it sounds as if the ATS is your enemy, but in a way it is, because the ATS, let's face it, it's designed to eliminate candidates before they even get a chance to get an invitation for an interview. So I'll give you good information on how to beat the ATS and guarantee that your resume will not be filtered out by the ATS. In Module 4, I talk about interview expectations. This is a point of anxiety for many doctors, or for all professions, not just doctors. Whether you're a doctor, a nurse, an engineer, it's a new company. You don't really know the kind of interview you're going to get. So what are the interview expectations? What are they expecting from you? And what should you expect from them during your interview? Module 5 is about the interview process. And there I talk about the process of interviewing. From the time you apply for a position to the time you actually get on board. What is the interview process? How many rounds of interview are you going to get? Who are the different people who are going to interview you? So that will help you, and it's gonna alleviate some anxiety as well. And finally, number 6, module 6, the most important module, is the interview questions. What are the interview questions? Of course, when I'm asked on YouTube, hey, what are the interview questions? I have an interview with this cruise line or that cruise line. I can just give you the interview questions. That will be, But in this course, I'm going to give you all the interview questions. I'm covering all the common clinical scenarios that are being asked by all cruise lines, so that you know exactly what to expect. They will not deviate from these questions. There might be some few alterations to the questions, but the topic is going to remain the same. So I'm giving you all the topics that are going to be discussed during your interview. Of course, I go deep into it. You will never be asked all the questions that I cover, but I cover everything. And so by the end of the course, by the end of my course, my class, you will be completely covered and you will be guaranteed to succeed. So you can buy my masterclass on Patreon. The price is $249. Do not buy it via the iOS app, because the iOS has a surcharge on Patreon. So if you buy it through your iOS app, you will not pay the $249. I think you will have to pay $350. So you have $100 off if you buy it directly, not with the iOS, meaning directly with your credit card. Now, in addition to these 1 hour and 45 minutes, I also do one-on-one consultations for those who want, meaning you've purchased the course, but you still have some questions. Although I suspect, because the course is so well done and it covers everything, I don't think you'll have any questions after that. But if you still have some questions, you're not sure about certain things, including the course, we can have a session and we can talk about maybe some points of clarification if you do have some, but I doubt that you have some, because I talk for 1 hour and 45 minutes. and I really cover everything. Yeah, so that's it. Basically, that's my course. I hope you're gonna really enjoy it. It's a course for doctors, but if you're a nurse, it's the same process. You're gonna get more or less the same questions, but you will not be asked to go deep as a doctor would have to go. So even as a nurse, this is definitely beneficial because the process is the same. The ATS, how to beat the ATS, the requirements, to go above and beyond the requirements. There's a lot of similarities, and so you will also benefit from the course. So I hope you'll enjoy my class. I've put a lot of effort into it, and I've made it as clear as possible. Clear, straight to the point, no fluff added, really straight questions, straight answers. I also talk about simple things like how should you present when you're interviewing, your appearance, the dress code. There are some questions like, tell me more about yourself. There are questions like, tell me about your weaknesses. So I cover everything possible. Cheers. Join me on Patreon for more stories about the cruise ship industry. See you there.